Thank you for joining us this morning for our service of Multifaith Readings and Reflection. My name is Bavli, and I'm one of the spiritual care chaplains here at Mackenzie Health. Throughout the service, you will see prayers and scriptures which represent some of our multi-faith community. We encourage everyone to participate in all aspects of the service and to enjoy and celebrate those aspects that you have found most supportive and helpful to you. We hope that everyone will learn something new today, and in that spirit keep an open mind throughout. Today's theme is on friendship. So we have our opening reflection. This is a poem by Helen Rice. Friendship is a precious gift that can be bought or sold, but its value is far greater than a mountain made from gold. For gold is cold and lifeless. It cannot see or hear, and in your times of trouble, it is powerless to cheer. It has no ears to listen, no heart to understand. It cannot bring you comfort or reach out a helping hand. So when you ask God for a gift, be thankful that He sends not diamonds, pearls, or riches, but the love of a real, true friend. Our next reading comes to us from the Hindu tradition, and this comes from the Vedas. Let us have concord with our own people and concord with people who are strangers to us. The divine twins create between us and the strangers a unity of hearts. May we unite in our minds, unite in our purposes, and not fight against the divine spirit within us. Let not the battle cry arise amidst many slain, nor the arrows of the war god fall with the break of day. And now we'll have a reading from the Jewish tradition, and this comes from Psalm 133. Behold, how good and pleasant is it when brothers dwell in unity. It is like the precious oil upon the head, running down upon the beard of Aaron, running down on the collar of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life forevermore. The next reading comes to us from the Muslim tradition, and this is from the Quran. Hold fast altogether to Allah's rope, and be not divided amongst yourselves. Remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you, for you were enemies, and He joined your hearts in love, so that by His grace you became brethren. You were on the brink of a fiery pit, and He saved you from it. Thus does Allah make His signs clear to you, that you may be guided. Let there arise out of you one community, inviting to all that is good, enjoying what is right and forbidding what is wrong. Those will be prosperous. Be not like those who are divided amongst themselves and fall into disputes after receiving clear signs. For them is a dreadful penalty. Our next reading comes to us from the Christian tradition, and this is taken from the book of Sirach. When you gain a friend, gain him through testing, and do not trust him hastily. For there is a friend who is such at his own convenience, but will not stand by you in your day of trouble. And there is a friend who changes into an enemy, and will disclose a quarrel to your disgrace. And there is a friend who's a table companion, but will not stand by you in your day of trouble. In your prosperity, he will make himself your equal, and be bold with your servants. But if you are brought low, he will turn against you, and he will hide himself from your presence. A faithful friend is a sturdy shelter. He that has found one has found a treasure. There is nothing so precious as a faithful friend, and no scales can measure his excellence. A faithful friend is an exile of life, and those who fear the Lord will find him. Whoever fears the Lord directs his friendship aright. For as he is, so is his neighbor also. Our next reading comes to us from the Buddhist tradition, and this is taken from the book called Udana. It is by dealing with a man that his virtues to be known, and that 2 after a long time, not by one who gives it a passing thought or no thought at all. By a wise man and not by a fool. It is by association that a man's integrity is to be known. It is in times of trouble that his fortitude is to be known. It is by conversing with him that a man's wisdom is to be known. And that too after a long time, not by one who gives it a passing thought or no thought at all. By a wise man and not by a fool. Good morning again, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our service of Multifaith Readings and Reflection. My name is Bavli, and as I mentioned before, our theme today is on friendship. So, some of you might know me, and you know that I love basketball. I love sports in general. We were just having a conversation about the Super Bowl this past weekend. And so, one of the things that I like to do is I play basketball. So, this was about a year ago, and we were playing some pickup basketball. It was an ordinary evening until that moment when my friend went down and he began to scream, holding his legs. We crowded around him, and he was holding his left leg. A few scans later, we found out he tore his Achilles. At that time, he was currently recovering at home, and he'll be back on the court, if he does his physio and everything, in about 9 months, maybe a little bit longer. At the beginning, I've been at his house, and almost every day since the injury occurred initially for a few weeks. Everyone has been supportive to him, and his work even got him a special device that allows his leg to be elevated so he could do his work. He is a brother, and he's a dear friend of mine. Why is it that we are drawn to some people more than others? What makes us want to maintain a friendship? For me, friendships are like a lifeline when I think about them. Connecting with like-minded people who genuinely care about one another is a gift sometimes that we take for granted all too often. Friends are people we feel good with. Some make us laugh, some hear us out and really listen to our hearts, and others support us when the going gets tough, and still others just hang out with us when we need some downtime, and we can just be ourselves and let go. A true friend holds up a mirror in which we can see ourselves. They are the ones who show us our strengths when all we see is weaknesses. They point out our good character traits, like courage and loyalty, when we are down on ourselves. They remind us of our past accomplishments and spur us on into our future. They build into our lives, and we are richer for having spent time with them and knowing them. We come away with a stronger sense of who we are because we have been together for a long time. But our friends don't just expose our good qualities. They call it how it is sometimes. They are people in our lives who aren't afraid to tell us what they really think, who hold us accountable when we're out of line. They speak the truth in love, and in the process, make us better. Be mindful of the mirror that you hold up for your friends. Do you reflect back to them the goodness you find in their hearts and in their character? Are you able to lovingly reveal the areas in their lives that they need to work on? Being in a bed right now, in a hospital bed, you might be asking, where are my friends? No one has been here today to see me, and I'm not sure if anyone is going to come. Friendships are not easy, and they can be a challenge to maintain. Sometimes we tell ourselves that I don't have any real friends, I just have acquaintances who come to me when they need something. Our readings today point to this challenge and show us what kind of characteristics a good friend should have. The Hindu reading points to a unity of mind and purpose between friends. The Jewish reading reminds us that when we are united in love with a friend, it is the greatest blessing to have. The Christian reading alludes to friendship as being precious on a scale that can't even measure the true essence of its beauty. The Muslim reading reminds us that friendship is about community, and that has been united by Allah's favor and love for all of us. A community that is held together by love that we have for each other. We have amazing staff here who create and foster a community within the hospital. You might be wondering, where are your friends? But also, keep in your mind the nurses who spend a few extra minutes with you. Keep in mind of the patients who might be across from you in the other bed, who constantly talks and might not make any sense to you. Keep in mind the spiritual care chaplain, the physiotherapist, the volunteer who visits and listens to your story. If we could see that we are connected, then friendships and links will be created amongst ourselves here in the hospital setting. So, my friend that I alluded to earlier, who broke his Achilles, he's currently slowly starting to get back on the court, playing basketball and even volleyball. And he's still not 100%. He always says, I'm 80, 85% there. He's still doing rehab. And I know at the earlier part of his injury, it pained him to stay at home because he was a very active individual. Early on, I was keeping him company, trying to keep his mind off the fact that he was at home all the time. And whether it made a difference or not, I'm not sure, but I was there with him. He did appreciate the company, and we were always sharing good laughs and creating that community, which was important for him and important for me and important for all of us who came together. So, by way of conclusion, I will read you a quote by Helen Keller. She reminds us when she says, walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. So now we will have our concluding reflection. Bless this day and keep me safe, whole, kind, and compassionate. Bless my path today. Help me to act with wisdom and live in perpetual gratitude. Bless my human family, who are everywhere and everyone. Bless the creatures and the plants. May all life be blessed on this day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's service. If you'd like to reach out to a spiritual care chaplain, you could do so. Our contact information is on the spiritual care icon on your iPads. You can also talk to your nurse, and they know how to contact us, and we can be present at the bedside to support you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.